3 hours, 180 minutes. That's the wall. The invisible line that separates recreational runners from the elite. And right now, most people believe crossing it requires years of professional training, a perfect body, or some kind of genetic gift. But what if I told you that's completely wrong? What if the real secret to breaking 3 hours has nothing to do with how fast you are, and everything to do with how smart you train? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the exact strategy that everyday runners are using to achieve what most people think is impossible. And trust me, the third block of this video is going to completely change the way you think about marathon running forever. If you're serious about this goal, hit that subscribe button right now, drop a like on this video, and tell me in the comments, have you ever run a marathon before? Let's go. Welcome back. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I want you to imagine something for a second. You're at mile 26. The finish line is in sight. The clock on the wall reads 2:58. Your legs are burning, your lungs are on fire, but you cross that line and you look up and realize you did it. You broke 3 hours. That feeling, that moment, that's exactly what this video is about. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through the 3 pillars of sub-3-hour marathon training. The science, the strategy, and the mindset that actually works. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to learn will completely reshape how you approach distance running. Before we dive in, I want to know, where in the world are you watching this from? Drop your city or your country in the comments right now. I love seeing where our community is tuning in from. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. We put out content every week for runners just like you who are chasing big goals. Let's start with the most fundamental truth about breaking 3 hours. It's a math problem before it's a fitness problem. To finish a marathon, 26.2 miles, in under 3 hours, you need to maintain an average pace of approximately 6 minutes and 51 seconds per mile. Or, if you think in kilometers, that's about 4 minutes and 15 seconds per kilometer. Write that number down, tattoo it on your brain, because everything in your training needs to be designed around that number. Now here's where most runners go wrong. They train too hard on their easy days and not hard enough on their key sessions. It sounds counterintuitive, but the research is crystal clear on this. Studies from elite running programs around the world consistently show that roughly 80% of your weekly training volume should be done at a comfortable, conversational pace, what coaches call Zone 2, and only about 20% should be hard, high-intensity work. This is called polarized training, and it is one of the most powerful tools in a distance runner's arsenal. Why does this work? Because those easy miles build your aerobic base, the engine that drives everything. When you run easy, you're training your body to use fat as fuel more efficiently, you're building mitochondria in your muscle cells, and you're allowing your body to actually recover and adapt from the hard sessions. If you go hard every day, you never fully recover, you accumulate fatigue, and you plateau. Sound familiar? If that's been your experience, comment below right now and type, Zone 2 changed my life. Because I promise once you embrace this concept, everything shifts. Your hard 20% should include 1 tempo run per week at your goal marathon pace or slightly faster. 1 interval session, think 800-meter or mile repeats at a pace about 15 to 20 seconds per mile faster than goal pace. And 1 long run every week, progressively building from 16 miles all the way up to 22 miles over the course of your training block. That structure, repeated consistently over 16 to 20 weeks, is the scientific backbone of a sub-3-hour finish. Now think about this with me for a second. How many of us have been running hard every single day, wondering why we're not getting faster? The answer has been right here all along. So let me ask you, what does your typical training week look like right now? Are you running easy, or are you going hard every time you lace up? Comment below and let me know. I read every single one. And, hey, if you're finding value in this video already, share it with a running buddy who's chasing a time goal. That one share could change their entire approach to training. Here's something the average running YouTube channel won't tell you. Your legs are only part of the equation. To sustain a 6:51 per mile pace for over 26 miles, your entire body needs to be built for it. And that starts with 2 things most marathon runners completely neglect: strength training and nutrition strategy. Let's talk strength first. The data on this is overwhelming. Runners who incorporate 2 days per week of strength training into their program are significantly less injury-prone, run more efficiently, and, this is the key, maintain better form in the final miles of a race, which is exactly when pace tends to collapse. You don't need to become a bodybuilder. What you need are targeted exercises: single-leg squats, hip thrusts, Romanian deadlifts, calf raises, and core work. Specifically anti-rotation and anti-extension exercises, like planks and Pallof presses. Strong hips and a stable core mean every stride is more efficient, and in a 26-mile race, efficiency is everything. Now let's talk about the fuel that's going to keep that engine running. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. They are the currency of marathon racing. During training, you need to be eating enough carbohydrates to support your weekly mileage. During the race itself, the rule of thumb for a sub-3-hour effort is to consume 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour. That means practicing your fueling strategy in training, taking gels, chews, or sports drinks every 30 to 45 minutes starting at the 1-hour mark of your long runs. Your gut is a muscle, and it needs to be trained just like your legs. Hydration matters too, but here's something that surprises most people. Drinking too much during a race is actually more dangerous than drinking too little. Hyponatremia, or dangerously low sodium levels from overdrinking, has hospitalized runners and even caused deaths at major marathons. The recommendation from sports scientists today is simple: drink to thirst. Don't force fluids on a schedule. Trust your body's signals and supplement with sodium during efforts lasting over 2 hours. One more piece of infrastructure that most runners overlook: sleep. Not just the night before a race, cumulative sleep over the entire training block. Research shows that athletes sleeping fewer than 7 hours per night are significantly more injury-prone and show measurably slower recovery between sessions. If you're sacrificing sleep to squeeze in more training, you are actively working against yourself. Protect your sleep like it's part of your training plan, because it is. Comment right now and tell me, what's the one area of your training that you've been neglecting the most? Strength, nutrition, or sleep? I'm genuinely curious. Let's get a conversation going below. You still with me? Good. Because the next part is where things get really interesting. We're about to talk about the piece of marathon training that almost nobody discusses publicly, and it might be the most important part of the entire puzzle. What are you thinking so far? Drop a comment and let me know what's been your biggest takeaway from the video. Your feedback helps me make better content for you every single week. You can have perfect training, ideal nutrition, and elite-level strength, and still blow up on race day. I've seen it happen. And when it does, the reason is almost always the same: the mind gives up before the body does. Breaking 3 hours is as much a psychological achievement as it is a physical one. And the good news is that mental toughness is a trainable skill, just like your VO2 max or your lactate threshold. Here's how elite and sub-elite runners think differently about the marathon, and how you can adopt the same architecture. First, they break the race into segments, not miles. Rather than thinking about 26.2 miles as one enormous task, experienced runners divide the race into smaller, manageable chunks. The first 10 miles are run conservatively, at or even slightly slower than goal pace. Miles 10 through 20 are run at goal pace with focused execution. And miles 20 through 26.2, the infamous back six, are run on mental fortitude, controlled aggression, and the training you've already put in the bank. Each segment has its own mental job. This prevents the psychological spiral that happens when someone goes out too fast, hits the wall at mile 18, and watches their goal slip away. Second, they use what sports psychologists call attentional focus shifting. When the pain gets intense, and it will, elite runners don't try to ignore it. They acknowledge it, label it, and then redirect their attention to their form, their breath, their cadence, or a specific mental cue word. Words like smooth, strong, light, or here can serve as anchors that bring your mind back to the present moment and away from catastrophic thinking. This isn't mystical. It's a cognitive technique backed by decades of sports psychology research. Third, they practice race simulation and training. This means doing your longest, hardest training runs under conditions that mirror race day as closely as possible. Wearing your race shoes, eating your race day nutrition, running at the time of day the race will start, and mentally rehearsing how you will feel and respond when things get hard. Your brain needs to have been there before. The more familiar race day stress feels, the more calmly and effectively you'll respond to it. There's one more mental concept I want to leave you with, and this one is the deepest one. It's called the central governor theory, proposed by sports scientist Tim Noakes. The idea is that your brain, not your muscles, is the true limiter of endurance performance. Your brain is constantly monitoring your body's state and regulating effort to protect your survival. When you push toward your limits, your brain sends fatigue signals not because you're about to physically collapse, but as a protective mechanism, a margin of safety. The runners who break through those signals, not recklessly, but with training, trust, and experience, are the ones who find out what they're truly capable of. You almost certainly have more left than your brain is telling you in those final miles. The question is whether you've built enough trust in your training to believe it. Do you believe that? Seriously. Do you believe your mind is holding you back more than your body? Write it in the comments. This is the conversation I live for with this community. Here's what I want you to take away from today. Breaking 3 hours in a marathon is not a miracle reserved for a chosen few. It is a systematically achievable goal for any dedicated runner who trains smart, fuels properly, and builds a resilient mind. The formula exists. The science is clear. And now you have it. But here's the real question. The one that matters more than any pace chart or training plan. What are you willing to do consistently, day after day, even when it's inconvenient, even when you're tired, even when your motivation is gone? Because that's where the sub-3-hour marathon actually lives, not in one perfect long run, not in one great race. In the accumulation of hundreds of small, disciplined choices made over months of intentional preparation. Every elite runner you admire started exactly where you are right now. The difference between them and everyone else isn't talent. It's that they refuse to stop. So, don't stop. If this video gave you even one thing you can take into your training this week, do 3 things for me right now. Leave a comment below. Tell me your goal race, your current PR, or just say hello. Hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more runners who are chasing the same dreams you are. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that button and ring the bell, because next week, we're going deep on race day strategy, the exact warm-up, the pacing model, and the mid-race adjustments that can save your goal finish when things don't go according to plan. You do not want to miss that one. Click the video on your screen right now and keep this journey going. I'll see you in the next one.